thought I would do a little tutorial about how we do some of our wreaths here at the flower shop. I'm going to put my gloves on because, as you know, this is messy work. So we're going to start off with just showing you how, as they say in floral terms, zhuzh. We're going to zhuzh up a wreath. So here's a traditional balsam wreath, and on the back it's just, as you can see, pretty simple. And we're just going to today show you some tricks that I love to do just to enhance it, elevate it a little bit more, and your friends are going to think you have this homegrown gorgeous wreath. So here's the end result, but in the meantime I'm going to show you how we do our bundles. So I did some cool tones here. What I mean by that is like the blue eucalyptuses. This is a seeded euc. This is actually a larger German boxwood. I just love this, so if you can get this, this is great, but traditional boxwood is great too. Little olive is really sweet. Okay, my favorite, Carolina sapphire. I just adore this. And then these are called silver dollar eucalyptus. So what I did is I put them in little piles here, because you know me, I love my piles. And I stripped off little stems. So you want to probably do it about 6 to 8 inches. And I made a couple bundles. Here's one bundle, so we're going to do one together. So the first thing I do is I take my piece of eucalyptus, I take my Carolina sapphire. Again, I like to just strip. It's messy work, so maybe have a little trash bin next to you. Oh, look how cute this little olive is. So I'm kind of putting my taller ones in the back, and you know my little trick, I kind of twist. So we're going to twist, put it around, and then we're going to add some of the seeded eucalyptus with the little berries. I just love these too. Okay, so I've got my little bundle in my hand. I'm cinching it right at the top. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get some wire. Now, I love using these pre-cut wires, but if you don't have that option, you can always get a spool of wire and just pre-cut them ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is go around once, go around twice, and then this is the front, so you want your wire to be in the back, okay? All right, so I have a few bundles here. I'm going to make sure all the stems are the same size. My wreath down, and again, I did some of the work ahead of time. I know I cheated. So here's my little bundle that I just made for you, and I'm going to tuck it into the wreath. So you don't want the stems showing like that. You want to almost put it upright, and then that's why you want gloves, because it can be messy. I go all the way around and I twist it on the back. So you can't see me doing this, but I am twisting. And then I just kind of manipulate it a little bit just so you don't see the wire, but we can always go over that again. So where's my next little pile? Okay, so here's my next little pile. Now, if you're doing on the right, you want to zigzag because you don't want everything lined up. You want it to be more informal and kind of flow on the wreath. So I have one kind of in the inner part of the wreath, so I think I'm going to tuck it over here on the outer part. And the same concept. We put the wire around, and you just want to cinch it. Okay, so we just continue back and forth, on we go. So it's completely covers the top part of the wreath, and that just gives you that kind of customized look. So the next thing I love to do is, okay, look how sweet these little pine cones are. So they're just on like little picks, and they're wired in. So what I do is I go in and I will wire a few of these in as well. I like to group them together. So we're going to group these together. And then I'm just wiring these in. This gives a little bit of a tucking. So I might do probably 3 or 4 groupings of these just to give it like a little bit of a consistency throughout the wreath. But if you just want to do one side with a gorgeous bow on the side, you can do that too. So the next step after we finish decorating this wreath, we are going to show you how to put a bow on it. So we're going to do bow making 101. As you can see, I have my gorgeous wreath here. And I usually say that you need about 3.5 yards for a traditional size door wreath, and if you want to do a larger wreath or you want to do something like a lamppost, I usually use about 5 yards. So that gives you kind of a gauge of what you'll need. Okay, So we're gonna start. Here's my gorgeous ribbon, and I usually like to make, so the wreath right now is centered where this is my top. So we're gonna kind of stretch to see how much we need. So this is a good sized tail. Now there's always a right side and a left side. So I first start with cinching it together like so. And then again, I always leave the tail on the left side, and then I have this on the right side. I make my first loop, and then I cinch it again. So you have one loop on one side. Now again, I still have my side here, and then I make another loop. Now, what's really important is that you want your loops to be the same size. So I just check and make sure that they're the same size. And I like this ribbon to maybe be a little bit larger. So I'm going to go ahead and make another loop behind or next to my first loop on the right side. Now remember, I'm still keeping this tail to the left of my hand, and I'm just cinching with my left hand and holding with my right. You can always fluff it once it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other side. Now here's the tricky part. You want this last one to go over the front of your bow, and you're going to cinch it like so. So here's the two loops on either side. You take your left hand and you cinch it, and now you're going to make a little knot for the center of your bow. So I'm making myself a little baby knot here. Okay? And you can, again, fluff it. Now I'm going to get my wire, my pre-cut wire, and you're going to start on the right side, go down, go up, and around, and cinch it, and then I stretch it tight, and then I just twist in the back, and there is your bow.